Hi folks, it's good to be with you. Love to everybody out there. As you know, we as Royal Blood Ministries, don't forget my website jasonburnspreacher.com, Facebook and Twitter. Just type in Twitter in Twitter, Jason Burns Preacher. You'll get Twitter, and you'll get information, apologetics there, and mainly Bible teaching on Facebook. But recently I put quite a bit of apologetics up. As you know, Royal Blood Ministries, me and Mike and Kieran and others have gone down to Hyde Park. And some of us have been specialising in studying Islam, and I've been particularly working on the Koran and the critique of the Koran. And if you can see behind me there, if you can see there, right at the top, is a whole bunch of notes that I've done on textual criticism of the Koran. Now, when we went down to Hyde Park, the Muslim apologists that were there, Isham, and others that were down there, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, they wouldn't debate us, they wouldn't get involved because they know that we're bringing the scholarship down. Early on they debated us because they didn't know who we are, but the more we've started to bring the scholarship out, the more that they've run. Now, Yahya Snow organised a debate with a Muslim apologist called Akwil, and I debated this Muslim. He's a really nice guy, really enjoyed debating him, and he's a good debater, and I enjoyed it. But I brought a lot of scholarship in that debate, and since then Yahya Snow and his group have run away from me and are scared to debate me. Now, they did organise a debate with me with a guy called Ijaz Ahmad, and he said that he would debate me on the textual criticism of the Koran and the textual criticism of the New Testament. But then, as I was getting ready to prepare for this debate, Yahya Snow contacted me and said Ijaz Ahmad is not well, and Ijaz Ahmad said, don't take advantage of me, don't make video saying I'm scared of debate. So I said, okay, I won't. But then he ended up coming on Jay Smith's Apologetic Academy and talking to Jay Smith and having a 15-minute debate with him and saying he would want to debate Jay Smith. So he told me he wasn't well, and he's debating Jay Smith. So then he keeps telling me he's not well. So I don't know what to believe. So I suggested to Ijaz Ahmad, well, why don't we debate online? Why don't you, he commented on my Facebook today on Evolution, saying, critiquing a video that I made. So I called him out and said, well, why don't you debate me? If you are well, you seem to be well enough to comment and make comments on my Facebook. So why don't you engage in a formal academic debate on Facebook? Just write your comment and I'll respond. You write, I'll respond. We can organise the format of the written debate. And this is what we get from the guy. This is on my Facebook. Okay. So this is the guy, Ijaz Ahmad. He's a well-known Muslim apologist, quite erudite, quite intellectual, quite well informed. A comment on Facebook does not correlate with a moderate live debate. I understand your eagerness to debate the topic, but one must work with the potential interlocutor to not antagonize them. So he's very moody there. I have no need to run. I debate on the topic often. I am willing and have always been willing to set in the future debates on textual criticism. Kind regards, brother Ijaz Ahmad. Well, he's always willing to debate, but he's not willing to debate me. He's running from the debate. All he has to do is tell me the kind of format that he wants on Facebook, and he can photograph it, he can copy it, paste it onto his Facebook, and people can watch the ongoing debate there, and it could go over for weeks. He could make his debate statement of 1,000 words, and then I respond the next day with 1,000 words, and we can go on like that, and people then can look at the information and examine the scholarship. But he won't do it. Now, this is one of their premier apologists. This is one of their main guys. He's supposed to be the next Shabi Ali. He's supposed to be the next up and coming apologist. He's one of the new and best apologists, and he won't debate me. He's saying he will, but it's like saying, I will go to a trip to Mars. I will, and we all know that he's not going to go on a trip to Mars. If he's not well, he is well enough to go on Jay Smith and debate him for 15 minutes, and he is well enough to write comments on Facebook. So he's well enough to type, and if he's well enough to type, he could type in a debate statement, and then I could respond to the debate statement, and it would be on the textual criticism of the Quran. Because when you get into the history of textual criticism of the Quran, you'll be shocked. You'll be so shocked at the information that the Muslim scholars are hiding from you. That Abu Bakr, Ali, Uthman, and others, there were a number of Qurans in their day, and they were adding text, they were adding bits to the Quran themselves, and it gets even worse because there were political parties that were doing this, and we can trace this, that this has been happening through the commentaries, ancient Islamic commentaries, and the textual criticism that was going on in the early days, like with Tabari and things like that. This scholarship's incredible, and it exposes that the Quran that we have today is not the Quran of the time of Muhammad. In fact, there was never a Quran in the time of the Muhammad, because what we have is bits from Muhammad and then bits from other political entities after Muhammad. And so the Quran is just a hodgepodge concoction of various political schools of thought that have edited it, added it, pulled pieces out, put pieces in, and it's just a mishmash. They argue for the chain of narration. Muhammad couldn't even remember the Quran, and the whole point of chain of narration is that people have memorized it and passed it on. It's been faithful. Well, how can you have chain of narration when your own prophet couldn't even remember the Quran? This is in the hadiths. This is in Bukhari. So this is one of their premier debaters. He said he would debate me. It's on record he would debate me. Okay, it's on record that Yahya Snow organised the debate. Then they cancelled the debate because they said he was ill, and I didn't make any issue out of it. But then he turns up debating for 15 minutes, grilling Jay Smith. So I was a little bit suspicious of them saying we'll debate you, but then we won't debate you because he's not well. So then he comes and comments on my Facebook. So then I call him out and say, look, you're well enough to comment on my Facebook. Why don't you debate me on my Facebook? And he won't do it. So, Ijaz Ahmad, I challenge you to a formal academic debate. I challenge you anywhere around the world. I will be there and I will come to you to debate you, okay? Or you can come to debate me to the UK. I challenge you. I say you're a coward. I say that you're not willing to man up and face formal, serious, academic scholarship on the Quran. Let us debate the textual criticism of the New Testament and the textual criticism of the Quran. And I put it to you that you and the Islamic Dawah teams at Hyde Park and around the world are scared of the Quran being intellectually scrutinized. So I challenge you. And if you don't face the challenge, then you're a coward. You can book the debate in a year's time. If you're not well, book it now and tell the world that you're not scared of debating me, and we can wait a year till you're better. But if you're arguing for 15 minutes with Jay Smith, and if you're commentating on my Facebook, then you can debate me on Facebook. You can make your debate statement, maybe 1,000 words, and then I'll respond to it. And then you could have another 1,000 words, and I'll respond to it, and another 1,000 words. 5,000 words, 5 responses, I can respond to you with 1,000 words to each of your 1,000 words. You can't get further than that, bro. But the Muslim apologists are scared to touch this topic because they know that the Quran that they have today is not the Quran that was originally started.